Oh,
So
well,
have we
we are
figured out from
live. Myself.
your
Go
end?
ahead.
Can you see? Can you see if people are live?
Uh, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point, can you see who's watching the show in regards to even if they're not on camera?
With this, I can. I can't tell who's watching, but I can tell how
Okay.
many people are watching. So I mean, it's one of those things, right? Anyway, we're live, guys. It's the second live stream since being back. Hi. And yeah, we have not much going on. Chris is still so very badly lagged. Don't know why. Don't know why. I've never had that problem with StreamYard. I've had it with other things, but never with StreamYard. But I think it's on Chris's end. I don't know if Chris has anything to drink tonight, but I'm going to start with a Great Western Radler. So because we were talking earlier about the Minhas, I ordered 2 of their 12 packs. They're
This is
two
gummed
two of
up
the ones.
hard.
And I think we've lost him. Yeah, you're down to just me. Anyway, so I ordered 2 of the Minhas 12 packs, and they were supposed to have 8 different beers I hadn't reviewed, and because it was two different mix packs with 3 in each, and I got a phone call from them, and they're like, we got your order. We just want to make sure that you're not looking for the same one." I go, "No, I'm not. You had 3 different ones on your site. I ordered 2 different ones, did I not?" She's like, "Yeah, but we just want to be sure." I go, "Yeah, I ordered the one with all the lagers, and then I ordered the one with the dill pickle beer." And she goes, "Okay, we got it." And she sent me 2 of the ones of just lagers, and I was like, "Yeah." Now, talking about how expensive beer is in Saskatchewan, and I hear it's pretty much the same in Alberta and Manitoba. The Minhas Craft Brewery, I think the way they stay afloat is their prices, because what they do is they'll sell you a 12 pack for like $30. They'll sell you a 24 pack for almost 50. They'll sell you a 36 pack for like 75, and then they'll sell you an 80 pack for 113. So the 80 pack means that your beer is about $1.50 a can, instead of the almost $3 a can it is when it's a 12 pack. So I mean, I think that's how they're staying afloat. Now I've been told my sound works. I've been told all that, so I really hope it is. I had to go out and get the snowball microphone out, because the microphone on my webcam wasn't seeming to work. So I don't know how in tune the sound is either, comparatively, because it's not the same microphone running. I have a different microphone running. But hey, it is what it is. I have no guests at the moment, and that is what it is. I'm still open to anyone who wants to chat with me to come in and chat with me. But I mean, again, that's up to everybody out there whether or not they want to. I hold no hard feelings on the people that I have not been chatting with much lately. I don't hold any hard feelings towards that. It is what it is, and I get that. So, I mean, if they don't want to join, that's understandable. If they do want to, that's understandable. Uh, it is what it is, and yeah. But I do hope that we do start seeing some people that want to be in these again. Sorry, just looking at one thing here. And yeah, again, we kind of have a breakdown into communications, I guess. It is what it is, right? Um Work, still trying to figure all that out. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Got my Sarkan box beside me. So as we finish things, it's going in the Sarkan box. Have a whole stack of resumes here, so tomorrow I'm going out to drop off a whole bunch more. I'm gonna have to start selling some products, selling some things from the house that I don't necessarily need. I was always going to go back into video game streaming. It just didn't happen. Oh, look who's back.
I decided to check in.
Well, when your internet died, I was talking about the Minhas and how I ordered two 12 packs from them, two mix packs, two different mix packs. One was supposed to be their lager and pilsner one that had the Minhas lager, Minhas pilsner, and then Nova lager and Nova pilsner. And Nova is apparently their like high end craft wine. And then the other one was supposed to have the IPA, the pale ale, the espresso stout, and the dill pickle beer. And I got a phone call from the brewery, and they're like, "Oh, we just want to make sure that you're which mix packs you want." And I go, "It said it in the order, didn't it?" She goes, "Yeah, but we just want to make sure because we have a bunch of different ones." I go, "Okay." One was supposed to be the lager, and one was supposed to be the craft. Okay, so two lagers? No, one's supposed to be lager, and one's supposed to be the craft. One's supposed to have the dill pickle beer in it, and one of them's supposed to have the lagers and pilsners in it. Okay, I got it. And she hung up, and guess what I got? Can you guess?
Espresso?
I got two of the ones with just the lagers in it. So yeah, that was a fun order. I was unhappy.
Do the lagers have orange peel and coriander?
I actually have not read the cans yet. Let's see. No, not that one. It seems like the only ones that have orange peel and coriander in it would be their actual craft beers. They're not craft beers, just say beer.
Okay.
Yeah, they just have beer in them, sir. They just have beer.
Well, for their craft line, using coriander and orange peel, they could make a gruit. They could make a beer that's all orange peel and coriander.
They could, but I mean that's a lot of work for them. I've got a.
Minha's going to get into the medieval beer market.
I still love just the price jumps that they have. Again, their 12 packs are $30. Then you have like $56 for a 2-4. Then you have like $80 for the 36 pack, and then you go to the 80 pack and it's 113. So So they're really trying to move vast quantities of subpar beer. And in a city like this,
well, with today's market and everything being expensive, they could almost just come up with their numbers, just come up with anything.
well, yeah, and I mean, at $1.50 a beer, you're actually looking at a pretty good price tag as long as you can stomach it. But I mean, I don't know if I could stomach 80 of them. Even on a budget, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could pull the trigger on an 80 pack of Minhas product. Excuse me. I mean, it would cost me a lot, but I could pull the trigger on an 80 pack.
Particularly when you don't know what you're getting.
Exactly. Well, I could buy an 80 pack of the espresso stout. Or their Radler.
That's no matter what kind of stout it is. That's a lot of stout.
Oh, but I like the stout. Oh yeah.
That Clear Creek ice. I know what the voice sounds like. Yeah, you want mine? You want me to bring down the? Excuse me. I had that Clear Creek stuff out in Alberta. What a great name for advertising. Clear Creek. It's like I'm climbing up a ladder trying to say it.
Did you like the Clear Creek?
This is a weird show. It's nothing close to an ice beer. It's a full-on super sweet malt liquor.
Okay, they also have Nova all malt lager. So I wonder if that's somewhat akin. Because I have a feeling they're like the Simpsons episode with the Duff beer keg and everything's coming out of the same keg. And I have a feeling that that's pretty much them. Oh, excuse me.
What do you make of their sign at the front of the building saying that they're the oldest craft brewery in America and they've been around since 1845?
See, Yingling has the same sign in front of their building in Yingling, Pennsylvania. They're like, we are the oldest, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Sorry, we're the oldest brewery in the U.S. And so, I mean, maybe it's the oldest building in the U.S. that's still used as a brewery, but it wasn't Minhas originally. So I don't think you can really say we're the oldest brewery. Like the Yingling Brewery has always been Yingling.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those things, right? They must have a big family and they just like subplant people all over the place.
Since their sign says now the producers of Huberbach, and Huber has been around, like Jesus used to drink Huber, like that's been around that long. Are they in the Huber building? No, they couldn't be because Huber was never in Canada.
No, but that sign from the picture you showed me is in front of their Wisconsin brewery.
Okay, well that makes sense. Then that might be the old Huber building.
Yeah, I don't know where Huber originated from. If it was Monroe, Wisconsin, then they might actually be in that building.
Well, that sounds accurate from my vast beer knowledge. That sounds accurate.
I had to do a little trim down today. make myself look more presentable for when I walk into a place of employment and I'm like, "Hi, I want a job. Give it to me."
What is the best giant white beard to go with a Hawaiian shirt?
The full-on beard, the one that comes down to like here, that's the best one to have. But I cut that off because it was getting so warm. I cut it off right before I started my Santa OnlyFans page, so you know.
Yeah. On YouTube, I'm getting a kick out of these beer reviews that I see for Facts 10%.
Is there a lot of people saying it's good?
Well, there are a lot of people trying to do, I mean, as if the world needs another review of Facts 10. And it's just the reviews always add with a disclaimer. Now, this is a strong beer. Comes from Denmark. And it's like, when you watch it, we all know what Facts 10 is, and we know what you're up to. If you want to go and have a Facts 10, you don't need to have a video to justify having a Facts 10. If you want to have a Facts 10, go have a Facts 10. You don't need to videotape yourself.
I did a video of Facts 10, but I really didn't want to have a Facts 10. I knew what I was getting into. I didn't want it. But I mean, when we started,
did you have a piss warm one with the boys down in the basement?
Of course we did. Of course we did. But when we started this, it was all about trying everything and anything. It didn't matter what it was. We wanted to have it, and we wanted to have a video record that we had it. So we bought everything, even stuff we had already had. What am I at now? I'm at like something like 6,600 reviews, something like that, and I can say probably 95% of them I've gone into blind, not knowing what it tasted like. And of the 5% that I knew what they tasted like, there was a lot of them I did not want to review. I'm like, this doesn't need to be reviewed. And then the guys would be like, yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it. It'll be great for the camera. And they're right. It was great for the camera, but it wasn't good. Oh, shit. And if anyone's watching, if anyone ends up watching and you want to join, you're more than welcome to join. I can always get you a link to come in and say hi. I bite, Chris doesn't. But, you know.
With beer and food pairings, I was going to ask you, which do you prefer? Contrasts, so to go opposite, to go, let's say, a lager with more exotic food, or do you prefer overindulgence, like a Warka Strong dominant with malt and caramel, then have that with like a pecan tart?
I think it depends on what cuisine you're eating, right? If I'm enjoying some Asian cuisine, be it like Indian or Chinese or Japanese or anything like that, if I'm enjoying a very flavorful meal, Thai even, I kind of want just the lager to help wash the palate. If I'm indulging in more North American cuisine, more like just big juicy burgers and stuff, I kind of like that overindulgence addition. So yeah, like with the pecan tart and just a nice strong malty beer, yeah, I can get that. But when I'm going with very, 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 very flavorful exotic foods, I kind of want that just mellow wash off the palate. How about yourself?
I find it almost unavoidable at Thanksgiving. At Thanksgiving, I can't think of contrast beer to go with Thanksgiving. I wouldn't have a lager beer with a Thanksgiving meal. That seems like I would just go all in with Bellhaven Wee Heavy, if they even still make that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
But I can't think of a crisp beverage to have with traditional Thanksgiving feed.
Yeah, I don't know what would go good with like turkey and gravy and a nice Irish stout.
Yeah, and again, you're getting into the overindulgence. Well, not overindulgence, but just indulgence. It's funny with green peas at Thanksgiving when they're boiling on the stove. It's fantastic, and it gives you that great feeling of being with family and the food. And boiling green peas on a stove are fantastic. However, the aroma or the taste of boiled green peas do not belong in a beer. I can name
I
several
could.
beers where I can pick up on that taste. I'm trying to remember where it comes from.
For me,
It's a
it's
collision of hops and yeast. It's not supposed to happen.
for me it's the I hate when you get the green apple when you get the diacetyl there. I hate when that comes out in anything. I also hate the green pepper flavor, which I usually get from Equinox hops. Um, and I know that there is a lot of people that pick it up with Equinox, and there's a lot of people that pick up Equinox as a citrus
Mm-hmm.
fruit. It all matters, but for me, when Equinox is added to something, a lot of times I get that green pepper, just vegetable like flavor.
Yeah, I
Well,
still
we're
get
gonna have.
green peas all the time. I
Oh
get
my
it in that. Well,
lord,
I don't.
we're gonna have a guest
Is
with us
Mr.
very
Ice in the
soon,
house?
sir. No, no, we're going to have the
Very good.
French wizard himself. Guy will be here soon.
Oh, wow, been a long time.
So hopefully,
Actually, there's a beer I remember with the green peas. Do you remember the short-lived Molson M beer?
yes, the casino actually did a private tasting for that right before it launched, and I had a whole bunch of people from the casino on camera for the beer review talking about it and what they thought of it. The micro bubbles.
Came in those aluminum bottles. The aluminum.
I never saw it in the aluminum bottles. I only ever had it in the glass bottles and in the cans. But yeah, I do remember what you're talking
Okay.
about. I would see it on the posters and everything.
What was that beer? What was the gimmick behind it?
Micro bubbles. It was
Okay,
microcarbonation.
that's it.
That was it was supposed to be Molson Canadian with microcarbonation.
I remember with the Anheuser-Busch before they started doing most of their major purchasing of smaller craft breweries because they were getting outsold by craft breweries. So they did the if you can't beat them, join them. So they just bought them up. You can well, you're familiar with the amount of breweries that Anheuser-Busch picked up. But when they were still at war with craft breweries, they started using the tagline that Budweiser has a fast finish. Do you remember that?
No, I do not remember that one.
It was almost like they were in competition with flavor. And I don't mean that to be a crack at Anheuser-Busch, but it's saying that the taste of Budweiser is clean and finish is nice. It doesn't linger on because even before craft beer, Labatt Extra Dry used to boast that it had no aftertaste. It was written right on the can.
Can you still hear me, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, this kept turning off, so I decided to go back to the original microphone. Yeah, no, I think if we're going dry, I think nobody can fight with how dry Miller products can be. MGD, Miller Lite, all that stuff.
Okay.
That stuff is all it's all very clean, very very mellow. I actually watched what brewery was he from? I watched it today. It was one of the big American breweries, and it was some kid who's never drank Coors, Bud, or Miller Lite before, and they had him do a blind review of them all. And I think he may have worked for Alchemist or something like. I can't remember who it was, but he reviewed them, and he went in depth on all three of them, and he liked Bud the least. Coors was his middle, and Miller was his top. And the Miller was the top because as they warmed up, it had the most flavor, and it was the driest. It was the easiest finishing. And yeah, I got really into that. And oh my God, it's the French Wizard.
Hey, hear me good?
I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, good.
How's everything going?
Hey, Chris. Doing good. The little one's in bed being quiet, which is good.
It's been a long time. A long time.
Yep.
Guy is a proud papa now.
Papa Guy.
Every now and then I'll go back and I'll watch an old video of Guy reviewing Molson Triple X.
I think you did that one twice, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I used to buy 12 and 12 back.
It's still the only beer I've seen that comes with a warning label on the case that says how high the alcohol is and how drinkable it is.
Really? Because there's some like BCBS and stuff like that. That stuff is super drinkable to begin with, and that stuff's like 12% alcohol. But you're right. I don't think I've ever seen anything to talk about it being very drinkable and high ABV. However, I do still every once in a while use Guy's line. It's a very, very dangerous beer.
I think they were malty. Is it a malt beer? It's been a while.
Yes, I do believe it is.
Yes, it's so sweet that if you have an ice cold one, it can give you a little ice cream headache.
Oh, there you go, Chad. 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
1 through 4. Pick a number.
4.
Good Perth Hopside IPA. Perth Brewery.
Ooh. My next beer is the original 16 Canadian Pale Ale. And I got
why they look like Crown Royals kind of mix for some reason. Just the can.
Well, I was informed that the original 16 was given to this because when Molson closed down the factory, 16 of the employees bought it and opened up their own brewery.
Oh.
And
is it at Cameron's when you said Molson poured the concrete down the drains and stuff just to piss them off?
That was that's the brewery that Collective Arts is in.
Oh.
The old Lakeport building. And it was John at Nickelbrook that originally bought that building because he was going to move out there. And then when he found out how much work it would be to deal with that, he sold it to the Collective Arts guys, and they opened up there. But they had bought the brew house from Sleeman's in Nova Scotia, and that's what they brew with in the old Lakeport building. I have heard that Black Oak has closed down, though.
That a small building. Black Oak.
Yes, apparently another brewery is using that building.
Not the one in Pioneer Village?
No, that's a Black Creek. Black Oak is the one in Etobicoke that what used to be like right across the street from Greg's place.
That's where Ken worked there, right?
Yes, Ken was the owner. Ken, one very polarizing member in the beer community. So what's been up, Guy? I haven't talked to you I haven't really talked to you like via voice or anything in a long time.
It's just work and baby stuff. That's all it is. I don't go out much anymore.
No, I don't go out much. I haven't gone out much in 5 years though, but I still don't go out much now. I'm still trying to figure out work stuff and all that. But hey, and the Gnarled Branch says happy Friday, so happy Friday to you, Gnarled Branch. Yeah, thanks for popping in. I'm glad that a few people still pop in. I'll have to get my footing back and start making people realize I'm around again.
Going in now these days is just going to Walmart or Canadian Tire. That's considered going out.
Yeah, we're going to do groceries tomorrow, and that's our going out. We're going to the Real Canadian Superstore and Walmart and a Sobeys.
Food's fucking expensive. There's, I guess, Giant Tiger. If you have a good Giant Tiger, they have good prices for food.
You remember where I came from, right? Everything's an amazing price for food.
Is Sobeys the closest grocery store to you?
Closest grocery store to me is the Real Canadian Superstore.
It's fucking expensive, man.
And then Walmart.
It's not as expensive as the Arctic, but
no. Costco. Costco's about a 9-minute drive. The Real Canadian Superstore is a 7-minute drive. The Walmart's a 7.5-minute drive. Sobeys is about the same, but it's the opposite direction.
If you don't have a Costco membership, it's like $4 Uber Eats if you want to just order shit directly to deliver to your house.
Really?
Yeah, they're on Uber Eats.
Wow.
Costco. Yeah, Metro used to be good. Metro is bad. Metro, Rob Laws.
I actually I have a job interview at Sobeys to be their grocery manager, and they start you at like more than what I was making up in the Arctic. So I mean, it tells you sort of what their profits are.
I thought you were making a shit ton of money up there or something, but that's
I wasn't making a shit ton, but I was making okay money. It wasn't worth it anymore. It wasn't worth being up there. My kids needed better schooling. My one daughter doesn't even live with us anymore because there was no high school up there, so she went to live with her nana. Aiden needs a lot more work than he can get up there. Harlow's about to start school, and we didn't want that to be her education. And then you don't get to work 8-hour days and go home, right? You're working like 12, 14, 16, sometimes 18-hour days. And then you get to go home and go right back. And then they tell you all the time, just get the job done. We don't care how the job gets done until you leave the company. And then they start nitpicking on every single policy you ever broke to try and not give you your bonuses and such. Like my wife has a laundry list of policies that she broke according to them. They're like, well, we don't have to give you your bonus because of this. And she's like, really? Because you're the guys that told me how to do this, and you told me to do it that way. And then they went silent for a few minutes. She's like, you also should probably learn what province each one of your stores is in, because in Ontario, it doesn't matter if you fire me. If I was working to the point where I would have gotten paid my thing, you owe me my thing. Because they tried to put her on a final written warning. They tried to put her. She resigned. Her last day was the 28th. And they called her today on the 1st. And they're like, you're on a final written warning so that we don't have to pay you your stip. She's like, I don't work for you anymore. You can't put me on a warning. Like, oh, well, it's retroactive to the 27th. She goes, yeah, that's not the way this works.
I should have heard give them a warning. You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. Here's a warning.
Well, they tried to hold her pay while they were investigating the policies she broke. And she's like, in Ontario, you can't hold my pay for shit unless I've signed off that it's okay for you to hold my pay. They're like, yes, we can. She goes, okay, I'm putting in a labor board complaint. She got her pay the next day. So, I mean, it's a shady company. It's a very shady company. But if you need a place to live and you want to have a lot less bills and everything, it is a good company to go to. Just don't wear rose-colored glasses because it's a very shady company and it causes a lot of people to do very shady things. Excuse me. For those of you wondering, it was the Northwest Company.
Chad, what's that brewery that's in the Nunavut?
Iqaluit has a brewery. I think it's called the Iqaluit Brewing Company. Let me double check this. There's a couple breweries in the Arctic, but I believe it's the
You can have a
Iqaluit
brewery on dry land.
Oh, Iqaluit is not dry. It's just expensive as fuck to get anything up there. The Nunavut Brewing Company in Iqaluit. It's 2025 Iqaluit Lane,
Because
Iqaluit,
it's not
Nunavut.
an inexpensive business to be in. I don't know how the hell you would. How would you make that work? Your
Blood
grain
wine.
would cost you as much as the building. Like,
I've been trying to get beer from them forever. Every time I know somebody that's working in Iqaluit, I try to get them to send it to me, and I'll pay them like shipping and everything. But it never happens. I'm looking at their prices though for like their merch, and their merch is about average for regular brewing companies. I mean, like you're looking at glasses at $5.50, sweaters at $50. Okay, the hats maybe not. Their ball caps are $50. But their shirts are like $20. Their merch is about proper, but I don't know what their beer prices are.
Should do it. When I was visiting,
is it all
like,
native
back
looking
then,
stuff? Like they got Chief Wahoo from the Cleveland Indians on it?
No, they're Inuit. They're not Cree or Ojibwe or anything. Come on now.
it used to be like $30. Now it's like $50, man.
I mean, their beers are Flow Edge Lager, Apaktuk Red Ale, Throb Gold Strong Ale, and that's their 3 beers.
Strong ale or strong lager?
Strong ale. They'll do free local delivery with orders over $150. $5 for delivery under $150. Local only though.
Palace, what these days still like $80 or something.
Well, that's the thing. Like it doesn't tell me how much any of it is, so I wouldn't know how much. And there has to be a way to order it online for them to do free local delivery. Like I have to be able to order it so that they can know that I want it. But it's not looking like I can figure this out. I kind of want an Apaktuk Red Ale though. It's only 5% alcohol too, so I'm actually intrigued by that red ale because it's the right ABV. Their strong is 6.8, which will make Chris happy because it's not 5 on the dot. And they're known as New Brew Co. because they're Nunavut Brewing Company. So they're the New Brew Co.
You have like 3 kinds of beers?
3 beers, man. 3 beers. You only need 1 beer. Like in PUV, you could buy beer every single day, one 12-pack. And again, it was an expensive 12-pack. But you could buy your 1 12-pack a day. The only thing they needed was Bud. All they needed to order was Bud. That's all people would buy. They had other stuff solely for the Southerners that worked there. Like you could get your Rickard's Red or your Keith's, and they started bringing in one 12-pack of Brasseur de Montreal, and they would bring in like 2 12-packs of it a week, and they were hoping that I would buy it because they knew that I liked craft beer. But everything else was basically Bud. And I mean, you were spending a lot of money on that 12-pack. You were spending over $7 a beer on that 12-pack. So you better like that beer.
Or when I drove back from Alberta and I came through Kappas Casing, probably around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I went through the main street, there's a house every 100 feet, and they're all primary colors, like something out of a Dick Tracy movie. They're primary red, primary blue, yellow, all plywood houses with siding. I passed a beer store, and it was like the thing couldn't have been more than 400 square feet. The building, it was tucked about 50 feet back from the road. And as I drove slowly past it was too early to go inside because it just wasn't open yet. But fuck, was I dying to know what was in there?
Bud. You would have basically had just maybe the Big Ten, right? Like,
right.
Mm.
Bud and Crest, just something to keep you going and something to put you down.
1, 2, 3, or 4, guys.
I want to say 3 because it looks like a butt. The number.
I'm gonna go with 2.
Number 3 looks like a butt.
Well, he said 3 first, so we have District Brewing's.
Well, we haven't seen Key in a while. Let's go with 3.
Yeah, District Brewing's Craft Light Lager.
How come you get all small cans?
This is the majority of what's here. I mean, there are some King cans too, but the small cans are the main ones. Like even the Minhas products are in the small cans, but they put them in the pounder cans.
Did you find a spot that sell like individual cans, or you're still stuck like it's like 12 packs?
I found a few places that have a few single cans, but the most part, if you want single cans, you're going to the brewery itself.
And
from what I've been told, it is a licensing thing.
Do they have like a brew box thing over there, like you used to have?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I know District runs their own thing called Bruiser, and they will deliver you beers from them and a whole bunch of other places. But again, it's 4 packs are the smallest.
How long did it drive like the next province next to you if you want to go like more beer and stuff?
Where do you want me to go? If I'm going right to Winnipeg, Winnipeg's 5 hours from here. Calgary is 7 hours from here. So it's not like anything is that far. Alberta's a couple hours, Manitoba's a couple hours, but that's just to get to main cities in both of them, right? Like, it's a small province. It really is. It's a skinny province. And the drive from Winnipeg to here was amazing. Like there was nothing on the roads. Me and my wife just chatted the entire drive. You barely turned. You didn't go up hills. You didn't go under bridges. You just went straight. And we stopped in Brandon, Manitoba. I didn't see our good friend, I don't even know what his YouTube name is now, but I didn't see our good friend from Brandon. But we stopped in Brandon at a McDonald's. And the other thing about a lot of these cities, like when you're on the highway in Manitoba and you're on the highway in Saskatchewan, the highway doesn't touch most of these things. They go around it. So there's like roads going into the town or city, but you never see the town or city unless you go down those roads. You just see nothing.
There you go, Chris. Your turn. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go with rock solid number 1.
All right, this one. Nicole Brook, Winter Wizard.
Such a
Magical
wicked
IP.
delay.
What? Did you say Winter Wizard?
Winter Wizard.
Okay.
Still winter. What are you talking about?
No, I just like the name. I really like the name.
Oh, I thought it was like
No,
They
I'm
came
not,
out,
I'm
like,
not like
5
oh,
months
it's all
ago or
winter.
some shit.
It's what the fuck? What the fuck is this beer? I've never heard of this beer. It's
Magical India Pale Ale, 6.2.
okay. And of course you have it. You're the French wizard, so why wouldn't you have the magical winter wizard?
I haven't been in like LCBO in a long time, so I just picked up like 4 beers. But here it's like, oh shit! Even like the grocery store, it's just ridiculous amount of beers.
Even the gnarled branch has no idea what this winter wizard is.
You probably just have an orgasm coming through the Loblaws or
So if
the grocery stores here for beer selection. Yeah, they have 3 Musketeer.
If this
beers,
Regina
like,
is just a
middle of the
sliver,
beer section.
This Regina is just a sliver.
Yeah.
of a province in between, that's 5 hours away from one and 7 hours away from another, is that what drives up the price for the products in Regina? Because you said the other day you paid $7 for that sour that just came from BC.
The way the three prairie provinces do it is they have a coalition. So if the beer is from Alberta, Manitoba, or Saskatchewan, it does not pay like a bunch of excise taxes. If it's coming from anything else, they charge extra tax to make you want to buy more local products.
Jeez.
It's a bit of cat piss.
What if I want to call you the gnarled branch, Dave? Excuse me. But no, like I'm legitimately about 2 hours away from Manitoba. I enter Manitoba in about 2 hours, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. I enter Alberta in about 4 hours. So you could cross the entire province in like 5 or 6 hours from one side to the other.
How far are down from the States? Like downwards. South.
I don't think I'm very far. I think I'm actually closer than, say, Alberta. 1 second here. Let me pull up a map ski, shall I?
You're like closer to go breweries in the States than it is to Canada.
Okay, so Moose Jaw is there. Okay, so I'm about...
If they crank the prices of beers from out of province to encourage you to drink local, what's the word for that? Isn't that hostage?
Kind of, yeah. So Weyburn is about 55 minutes from us, and Weyburn is about an hour away from the border to the US. So about an hour and 45 minutes, I'd say, because Weyburn is a little bit to the southeast. Like I'm in a great position to travel. Like if I wanted to go to Brandon, but who the fuck wants to go to Brandon? If I wanted to go to Brandon, I could be there in about 2.5 hours. If I wanted to go to Winnipeg, it's 5 hours. If I want to go to Moose Jaw, it's 45 minutes. If I want to go to Saskatoon, it's about 3 hours. If I want to go to Prince Albert, I'm looking at 5 hours. If I want to go to Edmonton, I'm looking at about 9. If I want to go to Calgary, I'm looking at 7. If I want to go to Swift Current, I'm looking at about 2. Like I can go all over the place. It's really.
How far were you from the States? I cut out for a second.
Like hour 45, I'd say.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's close. Even though you kind of used to live on the border, but that's still close for.
It's a lot closer than a lot of other places I've lived, yeah. I was saying to Alicia, I'm like, if we move to Alberta and then we move to BC and then we move out to the Maritime, we could live in every province. I'm not fucking moving. Shut your fucking mouth. She's like, this is where we are now. This is our home. Excuse me. But I have a loft, so I have a loft that is used as an entire spare area. It's not expensive to fly here. So I actually am thinking that I'll have a lot of people end up showing up, and maybe we can do things once I get myself situated and I actually get out of the shitstorm that I created for myself.
Well, shitstorm or not, it takes a while for a house to become a home. True.
And next week I have those plumbers in. They have to do the sump pump and the backwater valve. I don't know how the backwater valve getting installed is going to affect our walk-in closet because, the clean out's like in the middle of our walk-in closet. So this could be good. And our walk-in closet is actually the bedroom that they had for this basement apartment. We've turned the entire bedroom into a walk-in closet.
Walk-in closet sounds good. Radar bedroom.
It's an old house key, 1920.
Probably there's like valuable shit between the walls. And
am I keeping the cans and bottles from my recent reviews to decorate the walls? No, I'm not. Most of them are crushed outside in a bucket. They do a recycling here like they do at the beer store, but your recycling is a lot like in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. They basically put a deposit on everything. You buy little yogurts for your kids, you're putting a 10-cent deposit on each one of them. You buy a bottle of water, it's a 10-cent deposit. You buy a can of pop, it's a 10-cent deposit. You buy a bottle of beer, it's a 25. And then you bring it to a specific recycling place and they will give you your money back. But right now I'm crushing them all, and I think I might start giving them out to the homeless because as much as I need the money too, finding time where my wife can get to Sarcan while they're open isn't looking good. So I might just start handing them out. I'll start posting this day a week. I'm going to put my recycling out in these buckets. My only request is you leave the buckets. You take the buckets, I stop giving it away for free. You come with a bag and you pour the stuff in your bag. You put the bucket back. I will continue giving it to you for free. But the second you take my bucket and I have to buy a new bucket, now I need my Sarcan to buy a new bucket, motherfuckers.
Even the sparkling water cans is like $1.20 for deposits for a 12-pack.
Yep.
Like I don't want to go to here. They have automated machines, but it's like I'm too lazy to go.
I try to be a good guy. I mean, I think I'm a horrible guy, but I try to be an okay guy at least. But yeah, I mean, Sarcan is only open at certain times. So, I mean, if it's going to be hard for us to get there and it helps somebody else that's in a worse predicament than me, I have food in a house. If you don't necessarily have food or a house and you can make something out of the 20 or 30 bucks worth of cans and bottles and stuff I probably have already collected, go right ahead. I mean, my wife will drink a 12-pack of pop in a week. That's $1.20. We've been here 3 weeks, $3.60. Go through a case of water in a week. Again, $2.40 a case times 3. I've gone through probably 24 or 36 beer. So, yeah, I mean, in the 3 weeks we've been here, we've probably my daughter fucking drinks those damn Yogo Nanos like they're water. So we've probably gotten about $30 worth of shit out there, and it's all crushed. It's all done the way that's supposed to be done. Actually, that's a lie. You're supposed to rinse every single thing out too, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not rinsing them all out. I'm not. I refuse. I refuse to spend my water and my sewage on rinsing them out to bring it to you for 10 cents. Because by the time I bring it to you, and the gas and the water and I might as well not bring it to you. I will crush it. I will do everything you tell me you want me to do. I will even crush it. You have to crush it the long way. They don't want you to make them into pucks. You got to make them flat. I'll do everything you want me to do, but I'm not rinsing them out.
When I first touched down in Edmonton, one of the first things I saw as I was going across the street, there were two guys coming up the road on bicycles, and they had 4 bags abreast, so a bag on each handle, and they were recyclable clear plastic bags full of everything recyclable, from styrofoam containers to newsprint to pop bottles. And yeah, there were 2 guys that looked like kind of your fringe characters of society, and they were on their way to the recycling place to cash in big time with 2 20-pound bags or 4 20-pound bags of just stuff you would find off the street. Edmonton downtown is a very clean street.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, right? That you see the Free Regina site. You see it all the time. People asking, "Hey, anyone have any Sartan that they don't want?" Because again, it is a business, and it can be a business. There was where I'm sitting right now. There was a stove. I didn't need that stove. I bought a brand new stove for upstairs. It was one of the old, still had fuses in the back. Like, it was ancient. It was the small little apartment stove, but it worked. And I'm like, anyone want this for free? I had lots of people lined up. And then we had this fridge here, and we have the fridge upstairs. But there was a chest freezer. It was old. It was rusting on the top. Like, the paint was coming off. But I plugged it in. Everything worked. I posted it. I'm like, is there any family that needs a chest freezer? It's in rough shape. It needs to be cleaned because it's been unplugged for months and it's been closed. It's not rancid in there, but it's not nice. Does anyone want one? And I had like 7 people comment that they wanted it. And I'm like, look, guys, this is the way I do things. The first person that comments gets the first chance to get it. If they don't pick it up by the time they told me they're going to pick it up, the next person in line gets it. The first guy got it. He's like, oh, thank you. I have like 5 kids, and I only have my fridge in my house, and I have to keep going back to the grocery store every 2 or 3 days. Now I can just go do a bunch of groceries and, not have to worry about it. Like, hey, it helps somebody out. I'm happy, right? It wasn't doing me any good, so take it. I have a barbecue out back. As much as I love barbecuing, the barbecue that's out back is so rusted, I'm never going to cook on it. But it's worth $5 or $10 in scrap metal. Like, if you're bringing it in with everything else, like if you're taking it apart and separating the metals and bringing it in with a bunch of other stuff, you can get a couple bucks off of it. So I'll post it later on too. Be like, anyone want it for scrap metal? It's here. It's right in my alleyway. Come and get it. I mean, anything I can do to help out without worrying much, I do. And I mean, as much as, I bought a house and this and that, I'm in just the same predicament as some of the people that are doing these as little side gigs. I don't make enough money to pay my bills. I don't make enough money for this or that. But at the same time, you have to find a way to live your life and not have nothing, right? Like, it is just the name of the game, unfortunately.
Just a matter of how much you want it. There's money everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start selling feet pics and doing my Naughty Santa OnlyFans. And
that's true. You don't have to work at Chippendales anymore.
Yeah. I lost my Chippendales look, My wife fed me too much. I can't work at Chippendales anymore. What are you laughing about, Christopher?
Well, look hard and you'll probably find it again somewhere.
1, 2, or 3?
Your turn, Chris.
Go for it, Guy.
Okay. 2.5.
1, 2, or 3.
Dave is asking you about your winter wizard. How is it? Is it a lager?
I was just a fucking thick IPA. Like,
so this was a beer that was sent to me as a housewarming gift from
good.
Brian. I've already reviewed this though, so my housewarming in my package of housewarming gifts that Brian sent me, there was like 5 beers to just drink and 3 reviews. But I really liked Blighty's Brown Ale, so we have a Blighty's Brown Ale to drink.
I wonder if he's curious about the winter comment. Is there any are there any winter beer characteristics to the IPA and nutmeg or any of that kind of stuff?
No, it's just thick IPA that somebody just want to put Wizard on the label.
Guy, do you remember Nikolai?
Like a disease?
No, he was a beer reviewer. He'd come to my place once or twice. He came to my place once with Redbeard. I can't remember his YouTube handle. But he apparently works for Silversmith now as a brewer. I'm really proud of the guy. I'm glad that he got to do his dream, all that fun stuff. But he's the guy I was talking to who was telling me that Black Oak doesn't exist anymore, but Ken still works in the building. He sold the building to another brewery and he still works there.
Did you say I heard E. coli.
Nikolai. Nick.
Oh. Wait a minute. What? Okay.
The Maple Ruski. That was his YouTube channel.
I don't think I never met the guy, but I remember
okay. I wasn't sure if you had met him or not. I know Christopher had and Redbeard had and all that. I just wasn't 100% sure if you had or not.
I know Urt unfriended us because he had too many sensitive nipples.
Jimmy Jazz. Yes, you are right. You said it just as I did, I think. Did you say he unfriended us because we had too many sensitive nipples?
His nipples are too sensitive, I guess. I don't
know. I've been unfriended by everybody, so it's okay.
I guess I'm at a point that I'll post anything. If I get unfriended, I think it's a badge of honor at this point in my life.
Well, I know that when Chris and Lee both left that chat and then I got kicked out of that chat that me and you were just screwing around in, I was like, you know what? I'm too old for this. And I just unfriended everybody. And I know me and Dan talked about it because Dan was like, you unfriended me? I go, yeah, it has nothing to do with you, Dan. I'm too old for this shit at this point. I go, if this is the game we want to play, that's fine. I'm not going to pretend anything or this and that. It is what it is. I don't care. I love you guys, but I'm too old for this fucking game. I'm too old for it. So, yeah. And I mean, that's what it is. I have no hard feelings with anybody. I'll talk to any one of those guys that wants to talk. But it was, you know what? It's old now. It's old now. The amount of times you'd get in trouble for not fully believing the same thing as everybody else, like I can't anymore.
I think I'm at that point where I was like, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, well, that's what it came down to, right? I'm like, you know what? I have 5 kids. Some of them are in high school now. I'm in my 40s. Like I turned 42 this year. I can't anymore. If you want to play childish games that people played when we were fucking 13 years old, that's fine. But I'm not going to play it. I'm trying to get to a point where I'm happy. I'm trying to get to a point where, and I mean, just leaving the Arctic, I felt so much happier. I was like, oh my God, there's a life. There's things to do. There's places to see. I can go for walks. I don't have to like it was immensely liberating to leave, and it was immensely liberating to know that I was out of places that did such horrible things to myself and my family, and it was a reminder that I don't need to fuck around with some of the shit I fucked around with. Oh look, Chris is back! Yay, Chris!
Yeah, I just had to do some killing.
What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
What did you have to kill?
You live in what, Welland, or what?
Figured I'd
old
just leave
lady
it at that.
above you that can hear everything you do.
I'm getting this place just about right to get fumigated.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yes, we talked about your attempts of
Little
genocide.
friends.
Yeah. We have ladybugs and
For that
beetles
for
here.
fumigation to work, your place has to be damn near perfect for it to work.
Yeah, no, we've been finding a lot of beetles and a lot of ladybugs in the house. So there's a nest somewhere. I'm guessing it's either in the attic or in the extension that they put on the back, because you don't see them in the main house. You just see them in the stairwell to the attic and in the stairwell to the basement.
Do the ladybugs multiply fairly quick?
I don't know, to be honest. I should ask my son. He's autistic. He loves bugs. All he knows is fucking bug facts and Pokemon facts. I should ask him. He would know.
Is it the stinky Asian ladybugs, or is it the red ones?
It's the red ones. And I don't know what kind of beetles they are, but he keeps finding. Go ahead, sorry.
I've got all my hot spots covered, and I feel like I'm winning, but then I keep getting a big one that comes along, or multiple big ones. Like I just killed 3 or 4 while I left the room, and I'll kill another 3 or 4 tonight. And I just can't figure it out. Where the fuck? Right? I know I'm using shampoo and water in a spray bottle, and I can watch them die in front of me. And it works really well. But like, for the love of fuck, like I don't know where they keep coming from, or if they just multiply that fast.
What you're dealing with multiplies that fast. Like they can take something over quick. I see we have 5 viewers, but nobody. Chat with us, guys. Chat with us. Be part of the conversation. You can even join the panel. I'm open to everybody chatting with us. I always am.
I checked
here. Questions. Ask Chris questions.
Can you eat ladybugs? You said they're not poisonous, so.
I'm not eating a ladybug. It doesn't matter if I have no money. I'll go to the food bank. I'm not eating a ladybug.
Oh, deep fried.
Ladybug pale ale.
The soil. Oh, are you talking about for my house or Chris's? Again, I don't know where mine are getting in, but there was a whole family of dead beetles when we first moved in, and they were all up in the attic. And then this house was a rental before we bought it, and the lady had cats, and I'm pretty sure they pissed in the fucking vents. And as Chris, you have been a contractor long enough, you probably know what type of vents old houses have. Those giant fucking vents. So they're just open, and my dogs keep thinking about pissing in them to cover up the smell of the cat piss. And I'm like, I will fucking kill you, dog. You will die. Like, do not. And then there's the old bitch.
Piss on Piss sounds like an old thrash metal album, maybe like Nuclear Assault.
How do you show your dogs that? Like, do you piss yourself around it so they don't piss on it?
No, it's the 2 boys that are thinking about it. The girl, she's smart enough. She knows that I'll kill her. The other two, and she just sits there as I'm yelling at them, right? Like he goes and he starts sniffing it, and I throw something at Otis. I'm like, get the fuck away from it. And Colleen's like, I'm a good girl, Daddy. I'm a good girl. You are, Colleen. You are.
Again, we're talking about bugs and dogs pissing on itself. So if anybody else wants to join in the chat, come on in.
Yeah, this is where we're at, right? This show used to be such a good information gathering session for beer and everything else, and just shooting the shit and all that. And now we're talking about bugs and dogs and yeah. The first thing my dog did, because the door to the upstairs was open, the first thing my 140-pound Saint Bernard did was run upstairs. Couldn't get down the stairs because the stairs were too scary and steep for him. But he ran upstairs and shit right where there was a bunch of cat piss. And you could tell there was cat piss because of the color of the carpet. And I'm like, motherfucker. And then he wouldn't come downstairs because he was scared.
I'm going to ask you a question. We
went... Continue, Chris. Go ahead.
Question we asked last week. What's a beer that's been retired that you miss? What's a beer you just can't get anymore? Not from distribution. They just literally don't make it anymore.
I don't know if they stopped making it. If they do, I'm not sure. I think it's Fuller's Pothole Filler. Not Fuller's. It's from BC. Pothole Filler.
I remember Pothole Filler. Yeah, I remember the name anyway.
That we're just fucking...
Chad, did you ever have Pothole Filler?
Size.
Yes, I've had Pothole Filler.
It was less than a growler, but more than a bomber.
Wasn't it Howie Sound that made it?
Yeah, Howie Sound, yeah. I think Howie Sound as well, they made the... Was that the pumpkin beer alive? No, something else. Someone else at BC.
Howie Sound Pothole Filler Imperial Stout.
That's the one I missed.
Yes, it is still made, but it's not distributed outside of BC anymore. And they also do it in cans now instead of those giant bottles.
Where's the fun in that?
I know, right? Like the fun in that company was the giant bottles. Oh, look, Dave has a big one. Christopher, what are the bugs you were spraying? I grow plants indoors, and sometimes soil contains bad insects that need the soap and water misting.
Interesting. I've got La Cucaracha, and but in regards to soil, I'm in a cryptically old house built in the 1830s, and I'm on the ground level. So below me is just a crawl space. It's only about 16 inches. It's literally a crawl space between the floor. So I've been thinking that too, in regards to, I don't know if that's quite where you're getting at, the gnarled branch. What's the gnarled branch's name? Dave. But yep. I'm keeping that open as an idea that they're just coming up through the ground. Bugs. Fucking bugs. What about New Stat 10W30? They still make that stuff?
I don't know if New Stat even exists anymore, but I always wanted to tour New Stat because they had the Prohibition caves and stuff that you could tour if you toured their brewery, and I could just never get anyone that wanted to drive there. Let's see if they're still open.
They're still open. That really sketchy beer place I went with you, like the beer tasted horrible. It was like open concept. You can see like fermenters and all that shit right beside the bar. I think I said that beer tasted like mushrooms.
No, that one, the beer that tasted like mushrooms, that was in Niagara Falls, was it not? Or was there one from them as well?
No, it's Niagara Falls. I'm wondering if they're still open.
No, New Stat Springs is in New Stat, Ontario. It's kind of the middle of nowhere. And yes, they are still open. But yes, you're talking about You're talking about Niagara, no, Taps Brewing Company.
Yeah, Taps.
And yes, Taps still makes horrible beer. They make good food, but they still make horrible beer. And yeah, they still make their mushroom beer. So Dave used glue traps for his cucarachas. Yes, near Hanover. So Dave is actually in that area. And yeah, I always wanted to go and tour their facility, and it just never happened. And it never happened because anytime you emailed them, their email was full. Like back when I was openly doing these videos at breweries and stuff, every time I emailed them, I would get, your email has been returned because their inbox is full. And I'm like, really? Really? There's that many people caring about this brewery? Or do they just not? And then I found out that the owners were like in their 60s, and I'm like, yeah, they probably have no idea how to delete a message. But 10W30 was my favorite beer from them, and they had a few others that ended up in the LCBOs, but for the most part, you didn't hear a lot about them. And they had a lot of beer available. Just a lot of it was sold specifically at the brewery. And there's stuff I wish I had gotten to try. I don't know if it's still made or not, but there's stuff I wish I had gotten to try. Didn't get to. It is what it is. I'm going to continue drinking my Blackburn Blighty Brown Ale.
Sounds like that place I went with you. They had like, it looks like a grandparents' house. They had stuff behind display glass, like ships and old ship stuff. So all like wood walls.
Did you go to Port Credit with me? Because Port Credit was sort of like that.
I have to find a video because I did go with you. Shit, I gotta watch.
We have been to so many breweries together that it's hard to remember exactly which ones we were in. Excuse me.
I wonder how many videos I've when I went to visit you.
I don't think I ever had their lager. But yes, 10W30, I loved it.
Actually, a buddy of mine that makes furniture out of reclaimed wood, he recently got an old barrel from Lowenbrow, and it's got the Lowenbrow stamp on it. You think that goes all the way back to when Pilsner Urquell used to use barrels at the brewery?
It may just.
Because it's still a keg inside the barrel, right? It's not there's no beer that goes into a loose barrel, or is there? I can't remember. Like, how do you get barrel aged notes from a barrel aged brewery? Does the liquid actually touch the wood inside?
Oh yeah, they put it right in a regular barrel. They pull out the bung hole and just let it sit.
Okay. So they might have done with the Lowenbrow. I've just never heard of Lowenbrow barrel aged, but if you go back 200 years, everything was barrel aged.
Yeah, if you go back far enough, I mean, like you go to Black Creek Pioneer Village, they have a set of 9 barrels, and what they do is they start them in the top barrels, then they move them to the lower barrels, then they move them to the lowest barrels, and at the lowest barrels is what they bottle from, and then they can always continuously have 3 barrels of beer going at one time. Well, they actually continuously have 9 barrels of beer going at one time, but again, they bottle off the bottom barrels. And what they were telling me is that you would never get a perfect beer, because if you were to go to a brewery hundreds of years ago, if there was a fault in one of the barrels, it would always be there, and they wouldn't know which barrel it was. They might know which line it's in, but they wouldn't know which barrel it was in. So they just keep selling it to you anyway. And he was like, that's why you beer reviewers make me laugh, because back then you would drink it regardless. And I'm like, I bet you would. Now you don't have to.
Going back to that brewery that's up in the Arctic, is there any chance they're doing all extract brewing?
I don't know. Like, there's a chance, but I don't know. Because I haven't had the beer, right? I haven't had it. I haven't been to the brewery. I'm not going to spend the money to fucking fly to Iqaluit, because I could fly to Australia and back for the same price I could fly to Iqaluit just to Iqaluit with. So I'm not going to do it. I've been in the north, so I don't have to go to Iqaluit. I mean, Iqaluit is the part of the north that is the most like a real city, but I don't need to. And no, I don't remember Sapporo with a big metal container with a handle from Sapporo. I remember the Sapporo corrugated cans that I would give to my buddy Chris when he was drunk. Not you, Chris, but the other Chris, the bag of derp. And we would give the bag of derp we would always get him drunk first, because when he was drunk, he wouldn't think about it. And you'd give him those damn corrugated cans that I could stand on and they wouldn't crumple. And he would take them and he would try to break them on his head, because he said he could break anything on his head. And he had actually made himself bleed once, but at my Dirty 30 party, he cracked himself with it. He's like, oh, I can get this. And he starts trying to squeeze it. And I think it was the Reverend. No, it wasn't the Reverend. It was one of my viewers who came to my Dirty 30 party. And he was like, you can't bend in the sides. And the Reverend's like, hey, if he wants to try to bang that on his head again, he can bend in the sides. He's trying to bend in the sides, and he crushes the sides a little bit. And then he smokes himself in the head with it again, but in the exact same spot, and the tears started going down his face. And we got the bag of dirt crying on camera, and he threatened to kill me forever because we had that on camera and on YouTube.
Yeah, those old Sapporo cans, you could rob a bank with one of those fucking things.
Yeah, a 2-liter container with a handle of Sapporo. No, I don't remember that. I do remember you used to be able to get lug tread in like a mini growler with a handle. And I remember you used to be able to get the Mill Street barley wine in ceramic containers with a handle. And I remember you used to be able to get Charles Wells IPA from the UK in a 2-liter pop bottle. Don't ask me how that one worked, but that was the darkest IPA you'd ever find, because that IPA was like black. Beer 1 or 2?
Oh, I think it's my turn. Let's go with number 1, Alex. Let's go with number 1.
That would be another Great Western Radler.
Okay. Are you in the mood for a Radler?
I like the Radlers, and these are 2.5% alcohol, and they taste proper. And I keep forgetting that my camera's way over here, so I go to hold my beer over here because I would normally have my camera over this way. So if I held my beer right here, you would see it, but I have to hold it over here for you to see it. And I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, we got to let Dave in on this guessing.
Oh, Dave can guess on the next one.
Yeah, because with the extract brews, as you remember from your brewing days, my brewing days, you can make pretty darn good brew with extract brewing. The only poor extract brewing I've ever had was from our good friends at Steelback. And the only reason was because they just pumped the stuff out too quick, I think, because it had a very unmature taste. They had kind of that apple juice flavor you would get from Kits.
And that's just Kits.
Apple cider, more or less.
Long enough or anything.
Right.
And that was the one thing I always hated. The one thing I always hated about extract brewing, because I did a lot of extract brewing when I started home brewing. Because, I mean, you always think that all grain is the harder way to go, but all grain gives you a lot more room for mistakes. Extract, you need to have that boiled the proper amount of time, or you get so many off flavors. And, I mean, it is what it is, but, yeah.
I was going to ask if I have an IPA and a porter. I'm going to drink the IPA because I want to keep the porter as warm as possible. You ever had the GLB Haze Mama New England style IPA?
Yes, Greg sent me that once, way back when. I think I was still in PUV when he sent me that.
Is that another one in the 6% range?
You didn't speak enough French for Guy to catch you there.
Yeah, well, 7%. So no, it's out of the 6.
Does it have some orange candy flavor?
Huh. Even smells more like cat piss, but I think it's gonna taste a lot like the last one I just had.
So your baby doing good? She's sleeping through the nights and everything?
Give her food, yeah.
Excuse me. How's Mama doing? Is she doing good?
Doing good. Stressful, but doing good. It's not easy being mama, but doing good.
No, and as the kid gets older, it's not easy being Mama because for some reason,
So if
no matter what, your kids always levitate towards Mama, no matter what.
Yeah, if she falls down, starts
With,
crying,
with-
she'll only stop crying when she goes to mama. Go ahead, Chris. There's something.
so yeah, pardon me, I got a wicked delay on my end. With breweries allowed the 0.5 grievance in alcohol percentage, so it might say 5% on the can or the bottle, but it might really be 5.5. You don't really notice it too much in the 4s, in the 5s, and it's only 0.5%. But when you start getting up into 6.5, and you go from 6.5 to 7 to 7.5, it's a little bit more noticeable in the higher alcohol categories. No matter what your tolerance is, most of us can tell the difference between a 6.5% beer and a 7%. It's a particular elevation.
Well, and I mean that's the question, right? When you get one of those very, very dangerous beers that are 7%, are they actually 6.5, or are they actually 7? Are they 7.25? Where are they actually sitting?
What boggles my mind in the States, and I think it's quite a bit, I think, in Utah, where they don't have to put the alcohol percentage on the bottle. And by far and wide, there's a lot of breweries that go that way and they don't put the percentage on the bottle. And that's tough, man. When you're at a party and somebody hands you a beer and you've got like a 9% porter on your hands, like it's dangerous.
I think New York does the same thing, because I remember having that conversation at Premier Gourmet, and they were telling me that the reason that they don't put the ABV on the beer is because they figure that if the higher the ABV, that's the one you're going to buy. So if they put the ABV on the beer, you're automatically going to buy the higher ABV beer. And I'm like, but a lot of times I want the lower ABV beer, buddy. So, and then I can't figure out. I mean, I'm blind and I don't agree with drinking and driving and all that, but I can't say, hey, I had one beer in 8-hour span with my buddies. I can drive all my buddies home if I don't know what my ABV was, or even if I'm not driving, if I'm sitting at home and I don't want to get drunk, and I'm like, you know what, I can normally do 4% alcohol beers in this 6-hour span without having a problem. And then I drink 5 beers, but they were all like 8% alcohol, and I had no idea because they weren't on the can. Like, what the fuck? Let me know what I'm drinking. What you're doing is you're actually creating a way to actually create alcohol poisoning. Like you're creating a way to create alcohol poisoning by not letting me know what I'm drinking. Guy, Alicia says hello.
Hello, Alicia. How are you? How's
She's
the kids?
texting me right now. She's like, "How's your talk with your friends? You having a fun time?"
He's like, I don't know. He's French.
Do you still talk to Radar?
Not often. I'll see him in the Saturday nights when you watch movies and Nick and the gang.
All the people that don't like me. How is Nick and everybody doing, by the way? Are they all doing good? I actually do care that they're doing good.
They seem happy in the chat. I think
That's
Nick's
all.
the one of the saddest. Nick misses you the most, but Lee's the most butthurt the whole thing. But besides that, I don't know.
I don't even know what happened. Just Lee was like, "Fuck this! I want to be part of anything he's involved in."
For me, it's obvious. It's like, oh, Chad's going through a divorce. I'm going to stay clear and respect his space. And Lee's like, he's talking to friends, blah, 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 like, cheating out. Like, dude, it's like, who cares? Fucking write it tight. Just wait. But I was like, I'm French. I don't know what's happening. I was like, oh, well, what do you want? El Chipo, Medawake. Nice.
Yeah, don't worry, Dave. I'll be going to Minhas's 80 packs at some point. $113 for 80 beers.
I'm at that point, like older. It's like Budweiser, Canadian tap. I'll take that anytime. It just goes down easier. Your body's like, oh, this is clean water. I'll take it.
Yeah, make sure though for me they all know that I'm caring and I want to know how they're all doing, and I miss them all. Like I said, I couldn't play those games anymore. People are going to be butthurt and not talk to me and explain to me what the fuck is going on.
Send a picture of your nipple or something.
Well, no, I think that's part of the problem is that I'm like that.
No, I'm worse than you are. It sounds like you're still friends with me and they still care about you.
Okay, we got this one, and maybe I want one more. But what do I want to drink? What's not hard for me to get to? Oh, there's so many beers on the floor, but they're all Minhas. I don't know if I want a warm Minhas beer. Nobody wants a warm Minhas beer. What do we got in here?
So that's the weird mixed bag, because I watched like 4 reviews you did in your new place, because I'll binge like 4 or 5. Is that the one that's like Dan is dramatized by or something? And you said this beer is supposed to be horrible, but I'm actually liking it. It was like a brown ale or something you had. That brewery.
Minhas makes a lot of shitty beers. Minhas is the company that makes Boxer. And as you know, Boxer's gotten me punched in the head. They make a lot of other horrible beers. So when I find a beer by them that I actually like, it's really hard to be honest and be like, I really actually like this beer. But yeah, they have breweries here in Regina. They have breweries in Saskatoon. They have breweries in Calgary, and they have breweries in Wisconsin. And they actually have a member of their family on. I don't know if she's still on it, but she was on Canadian Dragon's Den for a while. No, I don't want that.
Manjeet.
Yeah, well, at least she's not Moni. She must be one of Moni's daughters or something, but she's not Moni, so.
Yeah, Minhas makes stouts, IPAs, raspberry beers, and about 16 different types of malt liquor.
I want to try the 16.
It's a brewery where you're searching. Yeah,
Gee, we can set up a beer trade, and
watermelon
I can
crunk
send you an
juice,
entire
12%.
case. I can send you an entire case of Minhas beers because I have
I hear it goes
4
well with
there,
spaghetti.
5, 6, 7. I have like 8 different Minhas beers here in the house because they are a big brewery here in Saskatchewan.
You're fucking right. They are. Minhas has Regina on lockdown.
They fucking do. Okay, this will be my second last beer right here. We'll do a
I'll keep it when I visit
strawberry
Cousin Bus.
rhubarb sour. Actually, you know what? No, we won't. Put that back in the fridge. What else do we have here? What are you? Oh, you're the non-alcoholic one. You can stay
Milk
there.
stout.
What are you? Pomegranate pale ale? I don't want you either. Guess it'll be this guy. No! Oh no! I dropped one! Oh no! Oh no!
Your box is sideways.
I know. It's the only way it would fit in this fridge, okay? This isn't a full-size fridge. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good now.
Need a few of those dollar stores can holders.
Original 16 copper ale. There was a microbrewery near Stratford, Ontario that I need to revisit. Was that Stratford Brewing Company? What was the other one in Stratford? There was another one. Boxer is awful. I agree. No, it won't have me calling ex-girlfriends. I'm happily married, Christopher.
I don't like watermelon as a flavor in general, but I'll take any malt beverage and give them a very high rating. I think that's Chad that taught me that over time. Is appreciate the bad stuff, what it is, and you're just like, oh, it's so bad, it's good.
Alicia's harassing me. She's like, what the fuck are you and Guy doing down there? I don't know. He might be in Ontario, but I don't know if you two are allowed to hang out together because you do stupid things.
I'm not in Ontario.
No, you're in Ontario. I'm here. She's saying, oh, that's right. You're in Quebec now.
Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Ontario.
She's still not sure if she should trust me and you down here without supervision.
I wear glasses. I don't have supervision.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my camera in a second. Chris, you're in charge while I pee. I will be back. And unfortunately, okay. I only have one of those plastic accordion doors, so you're probably going to hear me pee.
This is such a distinguished honor.
I have to pee too, but I'll wait till he gets back at least.
Oh, God.
So you won't get long.
Thingy. There we go. Oh, that was bright.
What happened in the beard braids? Beard braiding.
What have I got for you?
That's a dank smelling beer.
Like a wet basement?
Hey? It smells like a dank basement.
Like a wet basement?
Yeah.
It's generally from the yeast.
Oh. Could be just because it's LCBO aged.
Because you wouldn't find it in the IPA.
I don't know. Great Lakes. Probably has Simcoe. They don't say what kind of hops? No, they don't.
With my overly convincing French accent, La Bière de Garde is the beer style that you'll generally find wet basement notes in, and those are welcome notes if you're competing with it.
Sorry, guys. I follow the water saving rules of if it's yellow, let it mellow. So, you know.
You're pissing outside or what?
No.
Yeah.
No, this is a 2-bathroom house. I've actually upgraded to a 2-bathroom house, sir.
How'd
I
you
know
piss
every
already?
house you've ever stayed at with me has been a 1-bathroom house, but I now have 2 bathrooms.
No. You had 2 bathrooms. One was just disguised as a sink.
You are correct.
Yeah.
There was a urinal in the basement. Just my ex-wife hated that was a urinal in the basement.
Even Nick shit down that drain that just probably stomped his way through.
Again, let the guys know I'm asking how they are. All they have to do is say hi. Like, really, my entire problem was that I was invited to something, and then because there was somebody that was butthurt because me and you were chatting with each other and not chatting with them, they kicked me out. And I was like, you know what? I'm too old for this. Too old
I think
for
it's
it.
a blessing in disguise. Like, I'm so French and I can't stand reading too much chat. So I'm just like the way that I'm out of everything. I don't know what's going on all the time.
Well, that's what happened. Me, you, and Greg were talking back and forth. And then Chris and Lee left and were all pissy. So I got kicked out so that they could go back to having Chris and Lee. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need this. And I know why Chris is angry with me, because me and Chris had it out a little bit ago. Not a little bit ago, but after I started dating Alicia, me and Chris had it out because, you know, she's fat. Why are you with her? And I'm like, you know, people can lose weight. People can't change whether or not they're good people. And I think she's beautiful, so fuck off. That's
Especially when somebody's like, yo, I'm from Toronto. Let me diss your wife or whatever. That's like, oh, fuck you. It's always the people from Toronto.
Well, he was from Niagara.
Same thing.
Mongoose. Okay, my last beer of the night is Great Western's Black Lager, which was an amazing beer.
Why is that label look fucking identical? That is it? Dead elephant. I'm sure I had that before, but that's weird. Black lager.
Why the fuck does that fridge make all these noises? Can you guys hear it? It's like it's like its stomach is rumbling.
I can hear shit.
Like I said, is the fridge level?
Chris, I'm in Regina. My house isn't level. Nothing's level. My house has a full 2-degree separation north to south, and I think 1 degree east to west.
Okay. Well, it's usually what creates that gurgling sound.
And there's no way of fixing it because everything in Regina is on clay.
Railway City. So let's see. Okay, yeah, that can look a lot like Railway City of Black Hole Stout. Very similar. I thought that was that one, but it's not that one.
Sorry, Dave. I wasn't yelling at you. I didn't know Caps Locks was on. Didn't
Shit,
realize it.
Had
Didn't
that
realize.
9 years ago.
So I will put this out there. I am running out of beer, so anyone that wants to do a beer trade, I'm good with that. But it might take me a few weeks to a month to get a beer trade back to you, solely because I need to figure out my finances. I do know that there is a new brewmaster in one of the breweries in Sarnia that wants to send me a whole bunch of shit because me and him are tight. Brian sent me stuff, but again, his stuff was mostly drinking beers, and drinking beers isn't what I need solely because everything has to be a 4-pack or a 12-pack. But yeah, I can work with anyone. I even have beers here to send back. Some of them are really good beers. I just need to have the money to ship them back to you. That is a great black lager, though.
It's like beer diversity is no problem here, but it's just like food and money. That's a problem these days.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? I know that my channel is going to grind to a halt for new reviews at some point because I'm going to run out of money for that. But it's not going to grind to a halt for this stuff because I like doing this. And even if I don't have beers to have while doing this, I'll still do these chats. So the channel will stay alive. It'll stay floating. It'll stay all that stuff. Just whether or not the beer can stay until I find a better job. And I'm excited about the job I have, but it's a pay cut from what I was making. And then there's also a pay cut of just moving to Saskatchewan because Saskatchewan has a higher taxation rate than Ontario.
I'll just bring like 4 beers every 2 weekends now.
What is it about doing the beer reviews that keeps you going?
What do you mean by that? Like, what do I like about it, or?
Old English. English is good.
Well, it's expensive. That's what I kind of getting at that a little bit. What do you still have the passion to do reviews, or do you feel compelled to do it?
I still love trying new. Trying new is still my biggest thing. Like I love trying the new brews. I love giving my thoughts. Even though I'm not known in Saskatchewan yet, I know a few brewmasters in Saskatchewan, like Regina Brewing Company's brewmaster is a kid I taught at Niagara College. So, I mean, it's nice to know that I still, and he's actually asked me to review all of his beers. I reviewed one of them recently that I picked up at Urban Cellars, and I'm going to go to his brewery tomorrow and pick up a few more and chat with him because he's there until 1 tomorrow. So I'll go in and say hi to him. Start doing my networking, get my name out there again, because in all honesty, I don't want to do the retail thing anymore. I don't want to do the restaurant thing anymore. I'd love to get into the brewing industry, and the only way to do it here is to be known. As you know about the prairie provinces, they need to see you, they need to know who you are, and they need to know why you should work for them. And I went into that interview at Rebellion as the number 1 candidate. And I went into that interview in Rebellion as the person that all my references who already knew the owner were like, this is the guy you should hire. He's the guy you need to have working for you in this position. And I still didn't get it because he didn't know who I was from the fucking hole in the ground. And it would have been a job where I didn't need a part-time job on top of it. And it would have been a job I wouldn't have been looking to replace. So I want back into the industry. I want to be able to start, like I was making a lot of extra money in the industry before I left for the Arctic as well. A lot of people didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing consulting. I was doing I was assisting on brews. I was doing a lot of shit in the industry that made me a lot of money that I left to try and make a better life for my family. And now I'm back in the South, and I would love to get back into the industry at a point where the industry is actually giving benefits, where when I left, the industry wasn't giving benefits to everybody. The industry is paying better than it ever has, where the industry didn't pay amazingly before. So I would love to get back into the industry, but the only way to get back into the industry is
I went
known
for a
again.
piss. I went for a
You go for a
piss.
piss. I just went for a piss, so you go for a piss. See, I only turned my camera off because my pants are undone and I didn't want them to fall off as I stood up.
Okay.
Well, you know, because of my Naughty Santa OnlyFans and all that, I've been using the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0, and I didn't need you to see my
Yes.
baby shaved area. You all think I'm joking, but I'm actually doing an OnlyFans.
Your Burl
I
Ives
shouldn't even
junk.
say I am, because I don't know enough about the fucking platform to make any money on it. It's always a joke, but it is such a niche fetish that if I knew enough about the platform and all that, I could make a good deal of money on it.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said to you before. It would wind up just like this. You try to say something like, "Hey there, big boy," and then you just start busting up laughing.
I don't care if somebody's willing to pay for me going, "Ooh, have you been a naughty girl?" I'll do it. Like I will. I've even made jokes. Hey, I'll start selling feet pics. I don't give a shit. Who wants a hairy white ass?
I can't
got a
believe
hairy
the
white
women
ass.
on that thing. Well, I see it on Facebook Shorts, and they're just they're trailers or their teasers to go to the OnlyFans pages. But what a completely oversaturated market, and you can't tell one from the other. Like, I mean, like, how much material can you come up with in a week unless you do like 10 videos in a day? But you see some of the driest, stupidest stuff. That's kind of why I watch it. I mean, which video is worse than the next? But
Well,
to
there's so many
enter a
of them. You're
field
right.
that
Like you get
oversaturated, I mean, and to succeed at it,
you have that girl that does the camping videos and stuff, and she sets them up as Facebook Shorts as clean, setting up what she's about to do, and she's always just fucking out in the fucking wilderness. She's like, ah! And I'm like, really? This is what people pay millions. How can this make millions of dollars? I'm working my ass off just to try and feed my family, and you're making millions of dollars going, watch me fuck the stick shift of my Jeep. Like, what the fuck? I just, it boggles my mind. And then I've always had people, Chad, do you know how many people would sleep with you just because of Santa Claus fetishes? I go, well, one, I don't want to sleep with anybody. I'm with my wife and I'm happily married. Well, do you know how many people would pay for pictures of you because of this? I go, no, who the fuck would pay for pictures of this? Apparently lots. Apparently lots. So if I understood the fucking platform at all, I would legitimately do it.
but I hear you though. You'd love to sell it. You just wouldn't want to meet the buyer.
Exactly. And then apparently feet pics gets like $3 to $100 a picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll take fucking pictures of my feet all day, every day, if that's what the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. You want to see my foot step in dog shit with dog shit coming through my toes? I can go to the bathtub afterwards. I don't care. What the fuck do you want to see? I will sell it to you, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? This could be my part-time. I could work at where I'm working and have a feet pic
Santa feet?
anonymous thing. Santa's feet. Yeah, I don't like. I could have like. We have no viewers right now. They're like, "What the fuck are these idiots talking about?" Apparently, my daughter was watching us for a little bit. not going to tell you which one of my 3 daughters were watching us, but apparently my daughter was watching us for a bit. She heard my voice and started watching.
That's all right. Everything we've said
I'm having
previous is pretty much on the level of a 5-year-old.
Stranger Than Fiction.
I love Stranger Than Fiction. That is a great beer. That really is a great beer. That's a brewery that tried to cash the check for our Albino Rhino Beer Festival 17 months after the beer festival was over. And the money wasn't there. And then they got mad at me. And I'm like, it's been 17 months, motherfuckers. I'm surprised a bank even tried to cash that check for you, because that should have been stale dated.
Just looking at that groovy color can that Guy's got there, did Black Oak make Space Invader, the India Pale Ale?
That was Amsterdam.
Had the graphics on the can like the old Atari game?
Yeah, Amsterdam Brewing Company.
Space Invaders.
Amsterdam Brewing Company. Space Invader IPA. There was also one in Alberta called 8-Bit Brewing that did a Space Invaders as well. And I'm sure there's others, but those are the 2 I know of.
Yeah, I quite like that Space Invaders. I'm not even an IPA guy, but that brought some good summer grapefruit, I would call it.
There is a lot of breweries, Dave, that would love to have your artwork on a can. Rebellion Brewing here in Regina does a lot of artist brewing cans. Collective Arts does it. There is a lot of breweries that do it. The only thing is, you're not getting paid for it. You're basically being paid in exposure, which is what most artists hate. I mean, I was in a band for a while. When I would get told, "Hey, come do this concert for exposure," I understand what other artists. I had this. This was actually, I don't tell my current. Yeah, that was designed by somebody I know. There we go. It is what it is. Actually, Chris, do you only watch this via YouTube? Is that how you hear what we're saying? Because if that's the case, that's why you have such delay.
No. There we go.
Okay.
Concise.
Dave, I need you to make a whole bunch of comments right now in case my wife is watching currently. Oh, excuse me. He's a great guy. He lives near Toronto.
I'm gonna head out soon because this is getting choppier and choppier on my end. What's a topic we can go out on? Guy, what's your favorite ice beer?
I don't remember from the last battle I did. I think it Is it Maximum Ice? Who makes Maximum Ice?
Maximum Ice is
Labatt.
yes, Labatt.
I think they won in the last round.
I don't particularly enjoy ice beers. I don't. I know Brew Watts loves his ice beers. I know there's a lot of guys that love ice beers, and that's fine. You can love your ice beers. I'm not a big fan of them. It is what it is. They are what they are. I think and I hope that people like Guy and people like Dave and people like Chris and everybody else will be part of this, but I think Friday nights might be the nights I do these lives because if I work on a Saturday, I work all day and then I want to spend some time with my family. Because my wife works a Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. job. So I would like to try and be as into the family as I can because I do love my family. I when I was doing this while I was married to my ex-wife, I did this to get away from my ex-wife because I did not enjoy any any a moment of time I spent with my ex-wife. Not one iota of seconds I spent with her did I really enjoy. So I use the beer review to get away between editing videos and recording videos and recording live feeds. I wasn't making any money, but recording videos at breweries, I was making nothing. But I got to have an escape from the person that made me feel like trash 24/7. So with Alicia, I love spending time with her. And I try to find a way to balance this because I love this. This is part of me still, but I try to balance this with family time. So Friday nights might be the nights I do this so that Saturday nights we can do like family movie nights and family game nights and shit like that. But yeah, I really hope that people will keep joining. I really hope that Guy remembers to tell people that I'm asking how they are and all that fun stuff. Because, like I said, as much as I was pissed off, I still care about the people that I've cared about. I love Nick. I love Jamie. I love I love Lee. I love Greg. I love all of those guys. So I would love to know that they're doing good. Guy's like the only one. Him and Vincent are the only ones I didn't defriend because I was friends with them before I was friends with the rest of that group. And if Chris is going to bed, that's great. Me and Guy, hopefully Guy wants to talk for a little bit longer. If he doesn't, that's fine too.
They'll have
I
some
can.
beer though.
Okay. I can grab one more beer. I'm not getting laid tonight anyway. She's on her rag, so. Have a good night, Chris.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Oh, it's just me and you now, sir. It's just me and you.
Uh-oh. Garbage.
So all that stuff we were trying to get done together, I never had one phone call from Costco. It's okay though.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have a good day, Dave. All that, hey, apply to this job, apply to that. Nothing changed. Nothing changed.
I know what you're talking about, but what job
Okay.
you're talking about. I have no recollection of any such a thing.
I got you.
What?
Huh? What?
Huh?
Huh? What? What you speak of? Ugh. Those beers are so far away. I want one last beer while we finish up the chat, but I don't know if I can roll my ass backwards and grab one. Okay, we'll try. Come on, Chad, you can do it. What are you? Oh, you're cold brew coffee. We don't want you before we go to bed. Oh, excuse me. Guess we're going into the fridge. Oh, yeah. We got a strawberry rhubarb sour. That's our last beer of the night. Is a strawberry rhubarb sour. No, thank you, Dave. Have a lovely night. Good night. So, Guy, what do you want to talk about? You're in charge.
I'm trolling the chat. I'm trolling the people in the other chat. So chat says hi, blah blah blah. There you go.
Oh, you're trolling the Facebook chat, are you?
Yeah. Nick's like, is this just a year ago? You unfriended us. It's like, he still says hi, asshole. Like, he left us.
Did they not remember what happened? Did they not remember how that went down?
Then I wrote me. I rubbed ointment all over Lee. And Greg is like, lol. I'm the worst of the worst, but I was trained by Master Chad Brew. I'm Saparu.
Like, it wasn't like I'm like, fuck you all, I'm unfriending you because of nothing.
I don't remember if it's you I contacted first, or was it Lee when I started doing YouTube shit.
But that's just what I'm saying. Like, I have no problem with any member of that little chat. I had a problem with the way the entire little game went down of, hey, let's add you to this chat. Oh, shit, let's retcon this and kick you out because these two guys got mad that you, Lee, and Guy, you, Greg, and Guy are together. And I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit, fucking childish bullshit? Because that's what it was. It was childish bullshit. And I'm like, okay, I don't need this. And I left and I unfriended them all. I unfriended them all because there had been many a time where people were told, you can only like these people, you can only do this, you can only do that. And I'm like, you know what? I grew up in that. I'm not doing that anymore.
I'll think I'll read their chat every week and a half. Advantage of being French, just missing out all the potential drama. I don't know. I guess it must be a gift not knowing what the hell to do.
Like, there was even people that there was nothing wrong with them. They weren't racist. They weren't this. They weren't that. They just weren't as cool. And people would get angry. Like Chet. And Chet is on my Facebook.
Holy shit! This beer is amazing.
Which beer?
A Stranger in Fiction.
It is. I 100% agree with you. That's probably a 9.5 out of 10 for a porter. That is a perfect porter.
For 5.5, I would not expect that much goodness out of it.
Yeah, I don't know if Ryan still is their brewmaster, but when Ryan invented the recipe for that beer, he did amazing. He was he picked out the perfect motherfucking recipe for that beer.
I think I had that beer before, but it tasted better than I had it before. Right now. Or I just had it too cold before.
Yeah, see, I always drink my beers warm for the most part, unless I'm pulling them right out of the fridge, like this rhubarb sour. And when I reviewed this rhubarb sour, it was amazing. Having it now cold, it's not as amazing.
I used to eat rhubarb as a kid, like the sugar and everything. So I would want to try that warm. Try to get the rhubarb.
My mother used to eat rhubarb right out of our garden. She would just pull it up and like chew on the roots.
I did that as a kid.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I never liked rhubarb all that much because of that. I think something about it just never sat right with me.
But you need the sugar to dip it in. It's it. I remember that being fucking strong.
Remind Nick that I love him. Whoa. Like I said, I don't want to get anybody involved in any drama. I don't want the drama. It's just this is you know what, Geet? I'll be right back. I gotta pee again. I broke the seal. Now I gotta pee.
The P&S coladas get caught in the rain. I'm actually gonna take my time with this beer. It's fucking orgasmic. It's like fucking blueberry coffee, but not in a shitty way. Remind Nick that I love him from Chaz.
Woo! I feel good. I knew that I would. I feel good. I don't even think we have any viewers left. Let's see.
Sorry, like Nick, you don't get any viewers here like a week or two after. Then you get all the thumbs up.
Sorry?
Even next BA101, you don't get all the thumbs up like a week after. Week and a half.
We apparently have 2 viewers. So to the 2 viewers, say hi. Tell us you're here. I turned my light off so that I didn't die as I got up to pee. I was like, oh, I really got to pee. But this light's in my way. So I turned it off and moved it. But yeah, so this is another District Brewing Company beer. And District Brewing Company is way out there, but I love them. They're here in Regina. And they are actually one of the breweries that a lot of the contract brewing gets done with.
Nick's like, he unfriended me, so no, he doesn't love me. Not like Greg, apparently. Then I wrote, the makeup sex will be amazing.
Okay, here's the thing, right?
Greg's like, tell him to send Nick a friend request. Someone says absolutely not. Who says that? I don't know. Is that Lee? Lady Lee? That's Lady Lee.
No, like I said, I have absolutely no problem with any of the guys. My biggest problem was with the way that all went down, and I was just done with playing the game. I was done with playing the childish game that has been played for 5 or 6 years before that. I just actually probably close to 10 years before that game had been played, and I was just, you know what? I'm an adult. How can we not all be like, you know what? If we don't, how can we not be adults about things? There are people in my life that I don't like, that I have to tolerate and I have to act civil with because I'm an adult and I know that things don't always have to go the way I want them to go. I have to interact with my ex wife, who I hate with a passion all the time, and I have to be civil because I have two children that live with her and I have one child that lives with me. And we have to find ways to make all that work. So as much as I dislike her and I dislike the things she did and I dislike the things that went on, I dislike the things that still go on. I have to be civil for my children. I have to be civil for everything. I have to be civil. So if we can't be adults about things, why would I continue dealing with it? I don't deal with my family that isn't like that. Why would I deal with people that were my friends? If you want to be toxic, you can be toxic, but you can be toxic way the fuck over there.
And just remember, if it wasn't for toxicity, there would not be any Ninja Turtles at all.
The toxic ooze.
Yes.
Mm.
A rat would never learn a Japanese accent.
Oh.
That was the cheapest choice, the right choice.
How did you end up in Regina, Chad? Was that a choice over other choices? Okay, so Regina is actually Canada's #1 most affordable city for a single family home in Canada. And that's basically the reason we ended up out here. Before I went to the Arctic, I was tossing up the opportunities of going to the East Coast, to either New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, or into the prairies to Winnipeg or Saskatchewan. During COVID, then we went to the Arctic. We went to the Arctic for work because we were told, go up to the Arctic. You won't have bills. You'll be able to get yourself out of. You'll be able to get yourself out of debt. You'll be able to get yourself money saved up, and you'll be able to go wherever you want. So we went to the Arctic. The job we got in the Arctic was with the Northwest Company. Not a job where you can save up a lot of money. I posted a video recently about everything that happened while we were saving up money, because a lot happened, like my ex-wife giving custody of my son to me, and then my ex-wife fighting custody of my son being to me, and then just everything you could think of that could go wrong went wrong, to the point where we just cut our losses and we're like, you know what? We know we might go bankrupt again doing this, but we need to get out of the Arctic. So when we came to decide to get out of the Arctic, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia's housing prices skyrocketed because people from Toronto wanted to go to Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. So people from Toronto moved out that way. With Toronto money, the housing prices skyrocketed. I saw houses that when I first thought about going out there before I went to the Arctic were like $40,000, be still available when I was looking now, but be up at like $250,000. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. The house looked the exact same as it did when it was 40,000, 45,000, but now it was 5 times as much. So we thought about going out west. Winnipeg has affordable house prices. Winnipeg is too stabby for me. Winnipeg is the murder capital of Canada. Saskatchewan and is still pretty cheap. The cities are fairly cheap. Saskatoon is the most expensive city in Regina. So in Saskatchewan. Swift Current is the next most expensive, then Moose Jaw, then Regina, then Prince Albert. Prince Albert is the third most violent city in Canada after Winnipeg and Thunder Bay, fourth being Thompson, Manitoba. So it was one of those things of where do we go? Let's go to Regina. This house was less money than my house. Guy, you've been in my house in Niagara Falls. This house cost me less money than my house in Niagara Falls. This house is twice the size. And I can't say no to a house twice the size of my house in Niagara Falls that is cheaper. I can't. My kids walk to school. It's a 7-minute walk. There's a brewery a 10-minute walk from me. To get to work takes me an hour. All the other jobs I'm applying for right now are within half an hour of me. I'm in a good space. So that's why we picked Regina. The price was right. Everything was right. The job market was right. My wife got a job in a day. She came to me. We were in a hotel in Regina when she got called for an interview. She applied for the job on Monday morning. Sorry, that's wrong. She applied for the job Sunday night at like 11 p.m. Monday morning at 9 a.m. she was called for an interview. She went in for the interview on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. It was a half an hour drive to the interview and then back to the hotel. So it was an hour round trip. She went out to the interview for 9 a.m. At 9:30 a.m. when she walked back into the hotel, she already had a job offer, making over $20 an hour. I can't say no to that. I'm the one making the least amount of money for what my skills are. My problem is that I'm legally blind and nobody wants to hire me if I don't have a license. At some point, somebody will give me a chance and realize what they have, or they won't, and I'll work 2 or 3 jobs and be going a little stir crazy until we get things in balance. But it is what it is until that point. But that's the reason we chose Regina, because the cost of living was so much less. My mortgage is less than it was when I lived in Welland. My mortgage is basically on par with what it was when I lived in Niagara. I pay almost $1,500 less with my mortgage and my property insurance than I would have been paying if I had rented something. So, I mean, I couldn't say no. That's why I'm in Regina. And it seems like a really nice place, so I can't be angry about it. Out east is where I wanted to go. Lee would always tell me I would hate life out east. I don't think I would have hated life out east. But in the prairies, other than the wind, I'm loving everything. I can't deny the prairie winds are almost as bad as the Arctic tundra winds. I cannot deny that. But other than that, I'm loving life so far. Albeit it's only been like 4 weeks, but I'm loving life so far.
Speaking of Wednesday, I'm going for another piss.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe we should just call it quits and we'll try and get together next Friday. You good for that, sir?
Oh yeah, I pretty much I'll have like 4 beers every 2 weekends, but I can make it for next Friday.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, YouTube. Thank you very much, Guy. Bye-bye.
Yes. Merry
Love you
Christmas.
all. All that fun stuff. Bye-bye.